Good evening, YouTube. Kevin here, Copernicus Rax from sunny Cornwall in the UK. And it's 7:20 in the evening, Tuesday evening. Sun's gone down. The birds have gone quiet, and it's very nearly dark outside. I thought I'd make a quick video to apologise for the noises off in the last video, maybe even explain a little bit. Firstly, I am smoking a slightly unusual leather-clad meerschaum from Tanganyika. They do some strange things with meerschaum linings. This one, as I said, is leather-clad, or it says genuine pigskin. In fact, I've got another one that's a meerschaum liner for what looks like a nut or similar, like a straight poker type thing. I'll maybe try and show you that another time. It's got a small pipe, so it's a quick smoke. And in this, I am smoking the famous Billy Budd. This was the last of my American tobacco order that I hadn't tried during my last video. I was warned that I'd probably like it and the wife would probably hate it. In fact, I haven't smoked it in the house around my wife, so I have no idea if it's going to pass the wife test or not. But it certainly passes my test. It's a wonderful thing to behold, and I sincerely hope that I can hunt down something very similar in the UK. Otherwise, I might be making more frequent orders from America than I anticipated, because it is really a very pleasant smoke. So, the last video. Well, that was the first time I'd made a video when there was somebody else in the house. I'd eaten late, my wife was working, my son came in and decided he was going to cook. Now, my son is not the tidiest of cooks, so there were lots of crashes and bangs and wallops, occasional conversations between him and one of the cats, and looking back at the video now, I realise that was interspersed with my cockerel Wyatt crowing outside the window on a regular basis. Door was open, it was quite a warm day. And Wyatt doesn't seem to know that he's only supposed to crow in the morning. Add to that, my son's cooking abilities setting the smoke detector off twice. And it was quite a broken video, really. Certainly the chain of thought got broken. Anyway, I came home this evening. I thought I'd sit down and watch the TV for a while, or look at the news channels or something. But I'd forgotten. We've been hijacked by the political conference season. Which means that there are men in suits and women in two-piece skirts and jackets telling us how wonderful they are, how great they'll be for the next 5 years if we elect them again, and how much they're going to do. And they seem to be on pretty much every TV channel, in every newspaper you pick up, on every news feed you look at, even on the radio. There's no escaping the party conference season in the UK. Well, I got to thinking. We have a week with this party, then we have a week with another party, and a week with another party, and a few days with this, and a few days with that. And I got to thinking, if all these parties are wandering around taking their ministers out and taking the politicians out and party faithful, and they're spending a week in a hotel somewhere. Who's running the country? Well, the truth of the matter is, the country pretty much runs itself. A couple of hundred years of evolution, or lack or so, in the last 50. And we have a civil service that can pretty much run the country without interference. So the government is required every now and again to tweak something, or I'm not sure they're even required then, but I suppose we need somebody to watch over the civil servants. So I started realising just how often this country's left to run itself without the interference of politicians. And they get, 2, nearly 3 months off in the summer, they get huge amounts of time at Christmas, huge amounts of time at Easter. And I reckon that, at least a third of the year, there isn't a government in place. Well, there is in theory, but, there's the House of Parliament, the main body of democracy in the UK, is on holiday for a third of the year. And do we notice? Well, no, we don't. So, in these times of austerity, could we not get away with having part-time government? Maybe have a hard core there for urgent requirements, but for the vast majority, maybe only have them sit for a week every other month. I mean, really, do we need to change laws day in, day out, or are politicians just making themselves look busy so they can carry on doing the same job they've done for the last 300 years? Well, it's not just the salaries and their expenses, it's the cost of the premises, the security of those premises, the heating, the lighting, the bar bills, and the particularly fantastic pensions that they get. All these things at a time when we're told we've got to tighten our belts and austerity is going to go on for another 5 years, etc., etc., etc. Now, I know if we get rid of the politicians, or cut their hours, we'll also have to have shorter news programmes and much thinner newspapers, because without that ready supply of stupidity to report on, I think the British press would be hard pushed to fill the pages and fill the time slots they're given. But is that any bad thing? No. Overall, I think my idea is good. Maybe the first week of every other month, the politicians assemble, clap each other on the back, shake each other's hands, have a few good lunches, check the list, see if there's anything they need to do, tell the civil servants just to carry on as normal, and walk away. We could save a fortune. Tea. So it'd be less boring than watching one suit after another saying the same old thing. Because no matter what party they belong to, none of them are really different. I mean, in policy terms, you struggle to get a cigarette paper between them. That's if you believe what they say in the first place. It's not necessarily true that all politicians are liars, but it's possible. However, rant over for this evening. Although I may come back to it later. I really enjoy this Billy Budd. And what's more, it retains a very distinctive flavour right the way through the bowl. This pipe, on the other hand, whilst it's one of my favourite shapes, is really comfortable to hold with the leather. It's old and battered, and actually not a particularly good smoker these days. I keep it because I'm too nostalgic to get rid of it. It's been an old friend of mine for a long time, and it was an old friend of somebody else before that. But there you go. It's it's one of those things, isn't it? I don't know about the rest of you, but some of my pipes do become old friends. And chances are, when this finally gives up the ghost, or I finally give up fighting with it, I'll put it on a shelf and polish it every now and again. Old pipes never die, they just gather dust. So what else have I got for you? Well, I got my latest order from GQ Tobaccos the other day, but I think I might take that for a second video on the grounds that this has already gone for just over 12 minutes. It's been nice to see some new faces coming through. As ever, I haven't prepared for this, so I can't remember what they're called. But there's been a raft of videos to watch, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that. In fact, I've struggled once or twice to keep up with the numbers of videos that are coming through. Still, you can never have too many active members of the community, can you? So I'll say cheery bye for now, and I'll speak to you a little later. Stay happy.